Don Westfall and Jim Whitlock again here at the North Mankato Fun Days Parade, part of the celebration here in 2016. And as important as this is to the city, another important thing has just been the continued growth of the Business on Belgrade effort, Jim. And I know you're such a key member of the involvement in the creation and just everything that goes on with all the activities as part of the Business on Belgrade effort.
You know, Don, we started the Business on Belgrade Association in June of 2004. I went to Wendell Sandy, and our grocery store in this area had closed. Then we got a dollar store in for a little while in that location. Then that closed. It wasn't a direct effect of the economy here in Mankato, but that dollar store closed all across the United States. Then about a week or so after that, our convenience store on the 200 block closed. And what I was afraid of was rats and weeds in this area. And I had my business down here, and I just didn't want to see that happen and stuff. So I went to Wendell Sandy, and I said, I'd like to do something down here, some type of an organization like they had on upper North Mankato called Commerce on Commerce, and kind of pattern it a little bit after that. And Wendell said, whatever you need, we're behind it. And basically, I need help with postage and printing letters and stuff that we would generate. And in 2004 is when we started with the thing. And it wasn't until 2009 we really started to gain some traction. We were having a meeting, and I was walking into the meeting, and I said, if I don't bring to these people down here, the businesses on Belgrade, something substantial this time, I said, I'm going to lose them. They're not going to be part of this anymore. And Pat Pearson from Dino's said, well, why don't we give them a concert on that gravel lot back behind the Circle Inn? And we all agreed to do that. We had about 35 days to pull it together. We made some little subcommittees, and we went off on our own way. And about 35 days later, we had this concert. We had 4 or 5 bands, and that was in 2009. And that was called the Belgrade Avenue Blues and Jazz Festival. And in 2011, we changed the Belgrade Avenue Blues and Jazz Festival to the Blues on Belgrade concert. What we were trying to do was just kind of align with the name of Business on Belgrade, which is Bob, capital B, small o, capital B. And so the organization became known as Bob. And out of that, we started with the Blues on Belgrade. And then in 2010, Sean Angie from Spinner's Bar jumped in with me, and he came to me and he said, let me carry half your load. You're doing the whole thing here. So Sean jumped in, and he wanted to start an activity called Oktoberfest. And we said, perfect, beer on Belgrade. So that aligned with our Bob acronyms on it. So then Lucy Lowry got active from the library, and she wanted to do a 5K family fun run, which became Booking on Belgrade. Lucy is the director of the library here. So we thought we'd tie in the books and that kind of stuff. And one thing with the Booking on Belgrade is if underprivileged children and that kind of stuff, if they want to participate in it, they have to read a couple of books, report to one of the interns at the library, and then Business on Belgrade picks up their entry fee to get into it. So we're trying to promote reading on the young kids' parts. Then we came up with Bells on Belgrade, and that was when Ellen Koenig opened the Y Barbershop over here in North Mankato at the old Much Hardware location. And so that became that. Now that was our 4th event that we're doing. So we're doing Booking on Belgrade, Blues on Belgrade, Beer on Belgrade, and Bells on Belgrade, and that's the 4 events. And then last year we started in February. We started the Anthony Ford Pond Hockey Tournament, which had been for about 7 years out at Lake Washington, and we were able to bring it down here to Spring Lake Park and put it in down there and stuff. Huge success. They doubled their amount of attendance down there, and it's an easier place to get to, lower North Mankato. So in an urban setting like this, you're naturally going to get people just walking down to check it out. So that's really kind of how the whole thing started. You know, all the events take place in historic and unique, beautiful lower North Mankato. We now have 5 events for the Business on Belgrade Association, and they're all sponsored by volunteers. So this year, the Blues on Belgrade concert is just 2 weeks from today, Don, July 23rd, and Mankato Ford in Mankato has stepped up to be our stage sponsor this year. So we've got 6 bands that Lamont Cranston is going to be our headliner. So we're well on the way. A lot of people now really kind of plan their summer vacations around when is the Blues on Belgrade, and we always try to be 2 weeks after the North Mankato Fun Days.
Very good. Again, Jim Whitlock, a lot of effort there, a lot of community involvement, a lot of volunteers, but it's just another one of those key components that make North Mankato the great community that it is.